Hey guys!
Alright guys, it's Monday, it's doubleheader day, and we're starting off with Ephemerald, a band that we done on this channel before. We did one video for their only song that they released like 3 years ago, something like that. And now they announced that they have a new track, new lyric video, and there's a debut album in 2021. Finally. Now, you're a big fan of this band because since we did that video, you immediately gravitated to their sound, you fell in love with them, you have the song still on your playlist.
Yeah.
Now tell us, how excited are you about the prospects, not only of checking out this new video, this new song, but also their debut album?
I think the word finally just comes to mind because it's been 3 years, and that song, sometimes we do bands and I can't even remember them a year from then.
I can remember a week later, never mind a year.
But I can still remember these guys, and it's been 3 years.
Yeah, when I told you that we were checking out this song, you got really excited.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the... Do you remember the name of the song?
The Sea Swallows Us Whole.
Oh, he still remembers. That tells you. Like, you really dig these guys.
Hey, I mean...
They have great sound. That song was amazing.
And I think it's the reason why I gravitated to them more is because that was when we were in, like, Winter Sun and all that. Yeah,
we were doing Winter Sundays back then.
Yeah.
So I remember you saying that they reminded of you of Winter Sun.
Yeah.
Now they reminded me of Winter Sun even the way they release albums, which
exactly.
is like one single and then 3 years later, like finally the album comes out.
Exactly.
All right. On that note, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Since you're a fan of their first song that we did on the channel, I'm gonna let you go first. What do you think about this track, this new track, Servant?
Oh, I felt like I've been kicked in the ribs with those double pedaling. That was some heavy double pedaling, where sometimes they're more in the back. They're like the middle of the song. They're not in the background because you can really hear the double pedaling, but they're not so much in the forefront. But in this song, they're like in the forefront, so you get the full power of them. I was not expecting those clean vocals, but
like that bridge there in the middle.
That bridge there in the middle. I like the clean vocals. They were kind of very low to everything.
Yeah, I agree.
So you had to really listen to it, especially the vocals overall were kind of
low.
That was my only kind of problem. Everything.
That's your only problem?
That was my only problem.
I think the mix on this song is not good, and I think it hurts the song. I agree with you on the vocals. To me, the vocals overall are very low in the mix. The clean vocals are almost
they're like a
can't
mist.
hear it.
They're like a mist. Yeah.
And if that's the goal, fine. But to me, I don't think that's the goal. In a song like that, if you're gonna have those clean vocals, almost as spoken word, you want them to be in the forefront.
Yeah.
Because you want them to overpower everything that is happening in the song, so that you can concentrate on them. But overall, I felt that the vocals were recorded very, very low in the mix. You could barely, even the harsh vocals. The drums are over the vocal. Yeah, everything is over it.
That's what I'm saying. The double pedaling of the drums and everything, instead of being in the middle of the song like they should be, they're in the forefront. Which, don't get me wrong, I did like getting kicked in the ribs with those double pedals, but I would want to hear everything else too.
Okay, so let me break this down, and I want to start off by apologizing to the guys in the band for the criticism that I'm going to put forward. I like the song. I don't like the mix. The mix hurts the song, and this is where it hurts the song. The vocals are too low. To me, the vocals needed to be a little bit more on the forefront. This is a song that the heaviness is coming from the drums and the vocals, but all I can hear from the beginning to the end is the drums. That's all you could hear is the drums. Even the symphonic elements at times, they're unbalanced with the rest of the sound that it's happening. But I felt the sound overall was very unbalanced.
It's not just that though. Those symphonic elements are being put into the background of what the drums were doing.
Everything was in the background of what the drums were doing.
But no, sometimes when the guitar would come in, the guitar would also.
But to me, let me say this. I feel for everything depends on what style of band you have. What sound are you putting forward? If you're a black metal band or if you're a speed thrash metal band and you want to have that old school sound where the guitars are in the forefront and then the drums come right after and the vocals feel like they were recorded in the room next door, that's perfectly fine because that's the style that you're putting forward. If you listen to a band like Stalker, for example, I'm just giving you an example. They just released an album, Black Magic Terror. The vocals sound they were recorded 2 rooms over. But that's fine because that's their style. It sounds like the album was recorded in the 80s. It has that production. It has that old school production.
And that was meant to be like that.
It's meant to be like that. And it works fine for a band that has that style, that approach. Now, if you're a symphonic, because this is almost symphonic death metal, right? If you're a band like this, you have to have a more balanced approach as far as your sound is concerned. It doesn't mean that the guitars cannot be in the forefront. It doesn't mean that the drums cannot be in the forefront.
But it can't be the whole time.
Yes, and overall, when you're looking at the sound that's coming at you, overall, it has to be more cohesive. I need to hear all the different elements that make up the sound coming at me in equal amounts. It doesn't mean that one cannot be heavier than the other. It doesn't mean that one cannot be slightly more in the forefront than the other. But they all have to be balanced. I felt at times, if there was one consistency, is the vocals were always low.
Yeah.
And to me, that was a mistake. The vocals, because this is a track that doesn't have a lot of heaviness outside of the
vocals.
drum. But the vocals needed to be a little bit more in the forefront. To me, the vocals almost had to be what the drums were. That's what the vocals needed to be.
The drums need to be where the vocals were.
Perhaps a little bit more. Also, for as much as I like the drums, in terms of the heaviness that they give the track, I felt that they were flat. I wanted the drums to have a little bit more, not heaviness, but oomph, a little bit more volume, a little bit more depth to the sound. When I was listening to the drums, it almost didn't sound like a real drummer. It sounded like something that was programmed. They felt very
the
flat.
Normal or the double pedaling? Because the double pedaling for me had that oomph. But
no, the normal.
The normal, okay.
The normal drumming on the track felt very flat. It felt like there was enough. It didn't have enough substance to it. They felt flat. Do you know what I mean? Overall, I'm talking about overall. The vocals were below where I wanted. I wanted the guitars a little. Like I can barely remember anything from the guitars.
No. Well,
For me, I mean, everything was kind of muffled.
everything
The sound felt
was
muffled.
on top of each other.
Everything was on top of each other. Things were not balanced in the right amounts. Like I want everything should have been in equal amounts. I want everything in equal amounts because for a song like this, if you want to have that bombastic cinematic feel that you're going to get from the symphonic elements, everything has to come at you in equal amounts. Because right now, when you listen to this track, you're getting the only consistency once again is the vocals being low. Yeah. Outside of that, you're getting things in waves. The cinematic, symphonic elements come up and they're like over the top. Then they disappear. Then the drums come. They're over the top. Then they disappear. Then something else comes over the top. Then they No, I want everything balanced. It doesn't mean that you cannot have stretches of the song where one element is in the forefront, but that doesn't mean that everything else has to almost completely disappear. And that's how the song felt to me. So the track overall, when you think about the song overall, it's a great song. It has a lot of interesting elements. It's constructed in a cool way. I like it. I don't like how it was put together, how it was recorded. I don't like the mix on this track. It falls flat. The drums felt flat. The sound overall felt muffled.
I think those drum.
It was almost like somebody was covering one of the speakers somewhere.
Those drum parts when it was just normal drums and they fell flat. I think it's because there was the guitar there, and that's why I kind of just went with the guitar and didn't pay much attention.
I know, but you cannot have the drums on the double pedaling feeling more alive than they do when they're not there. To me, the sound, the crisp sound, the oomph of the drums needs to be there regardless of what else is happening, regardless of what you're doing. That's like you saying, during the verses, the guitar riff sounded great, but on the solo was really low. Okay, it shouldn't be low. The volume should be the same, regardless of what the guy's doing with the guitar. Just because it's a solo, it doesn't mean you're going to decrease the volume.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like the volume on this track was not balanced. That's almost how it felt to me. It felt like at some point in time somebody was covering one of the speakers. Like, you know, one of the PAs was getting covered. It was muffled.
I was kind of sad though because
the vocals felt so muffled.
Yeah, I was just kind of sad though because I really do like his vocals, especially in the other song. And having them kind of being covered up wasn't the best.
And the clean vocals, I could barely hear them. So I'm a little disappointed. Considering that I've waited 3 years for this.
Exactly. But
I'm a little bit disappointed.
I went into this with a very biased opinion.
I know you love the band. You love
that's probably why I took out of this all the good stuff and I tried blanking out all the shit stuff.
I started off the track and if you guys I think this is going to be very visible in this video. I start off with a smile. And then as the song progresses, my smile starts to dissipate.
I noticed.
I'm a little disappointed. Considering that we've waited 3 years, I'm disappointed. I think, once again, you're releasing your debut record. I think it's going to come out on Inverse Records, if I'm not mistaken. You're releasing your debut record. It's been 3 years since you released that single. That single was absolutely phenomenal, top to bottom.
Yeah, and that single had perfect everything.
There was nothing wrong with that song. Absolutely zero wrong with that song.
No bad mixing, nothing.
This track... I hope this is not a sign of what the album is going to sound like, because all the work that went into making this song and how good this song could have been, to me, it fell flat on how it sounds. It doesn't sound good. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I love you guys. You guys are like. I'm sorry, but I just gotta. I gotta keep it real.
Opinion, and I feel like if I listen to it again, I'll probably get more of the sadness. But listening to it for the first time, I took out all the stuff I liked about it more.
I think you just have to be honest. Regardless of how much you love a band, regardless of how much you're hoping for the band to deliver what you want them to deliver, and what they're capable of delivering, at the end of the day, I don't think you're doing anybody any favor by giving everybody a participation trophy. And if I was to sit here and say this is the greatest song ever, or this is an amazing track, I'm really excited about the album, I would be giving them a participation trophy when I don't think it's deserved. I think you have to be critical when you need to be critical. At least that's my opinion. Now, I'm not saying I'm right.
If the roles were reversed, then it would have been, if this was like the first song we listened to, it would.
I think it hurts it a little bit more considering we've heard that song 3 years ago was amazing.
Because
and now you wait 3 years.
Exactly, but it's weird because you think that waiting 3 years it would get even better than the first song.
No, but from a construction perspective, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
You think that
there's been time to polish everything.
They could only get better. That's what you would think, but then somehow.
But I'm not saying the song is not good from from a creation perspective. It's just the way it's mixed together. To me, it's poor. The mixing is poor, and that hurts the overall experience of the track.
Yeah.
It's just is what it is. I don't want to compare with anybody, but I did an album review not too long ago of a band from Portugal that I really like. I had so many high expectations on them, and when I listened to the album, the same issue. The mixing was poor.
That ruins an album.
It ruined the album for me. It completely ruined the album. I cannot listen to that album because I can't enjoy something that is not put together in a way that it's enjoyable. You know what I mean? I like French fries, but if you dip them in vinegar and you throw, I don't know, and you pee on them, I'm not gonna like them anymore. It doesn't matter how much I enjoy fries.
Your brain was doing overtime.
I was trying to find something the least offensive possible, and pee was the only thing that came to mind. I'm sorry. Enough. All right, let's move on to the next video that's coming right after this. All right, guys. See you in the next video.
See ya.